Lokesh set to become the executive president of the Telugu Desam party, and some reforms are also committed. And now headlines. Prime Minister Modi calls terrorism Pakistan's deliberate strategy of war against India. Prime Minister says it would not have taken root had POK been taken back in 1947. BSF releases video of how it targeted Pakistani army post in Operation Sindoor. Pak Rangers seen fleeing in video. CM Omar Abdullah chairs cabinet meeting to revive tourism, says government won't be intimidated by cowardly acts of terror. The meeting took place in Pahalgam. Kamal Hassan's Tamil superiority remarks sparks outrage, says Kannada originated from Tamil. And now let us straight away go to the story we are talking about. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going after Pakistan, all guns blazing. Talking about partition after a roadshow at Gandhinagar, the Prime Minister gave a stinging reply to Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir's rhetoric on the two-nation theory. Prime Minister said that the country was divided into three parts in 47, and soon after the first terrorist attack was reported in Kashmir.
1947 में जब मां भारती के टुकड़े हुए, कटनी चाहिए थी तो जंजीरें, लेकिन काट दी गई भुजाएं। देश के 3 टुकड़े कर दिए गए। और उसी रात पहला आतंकवादी हमला कश्मीर की धरती पर हुआ। मां भारती का एक हिस्सा आतंकवादियों के बलबूते पर, मुजाहिदों के नाम पर पाकिस्तान ने हड़प ले लिया।
A few days before the dastardly Pahalgam attack of by 7, Munir had evoked two-nation theory propagated by Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah.
Government's stance on Kashmir is absolutely clear. It was our jugular vein. It is our jugular vein. Whatever little bit of the terrorism which is taking place in the country, and the people say, and the people they are mostly propagating, that with this kind of security situation there won't be any investment coming to Pakistan. Well, to them, they must hear me very clearly now. You think terrorists, they can take away the destiny of the country from us? If this great Pakistani nation and the Pakistani armed forces, if 1.3 million.
Prime Minister Modi said in 1947, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wanted the army to take back Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Patel believed military action shouldn't cease until POK was reclaimed by India.
और सरदार पटेल की इच्छा थी कि पीओके वापस नहीं आता है तब तक सेना रुकनी नहीं चाहिए। लेकिन सरदार साहब की बात मानी नहीं गई और ये मुजाहिदीन जो लहू चख गए थे, वो सिलसिला 75 साल से चला है। पहलगाम में भी उसी का विकृत रूप था। 75 साल तक हम झेलते रहे और पाकिस्तान के साथ जब युद्ध का नौबत आई, तीनों बार भारत की सैन्य शक्ति ने पाकिस्तान को धूल चटा दी।
Now the big question, how has Prime Minister Modi exposed Pakistan's victim narrative since Operation Sindoor? How has Prime Minister Modi busted General Munir's divisive rhetoric? And what is the messaging behind raising the heat on Pakistan? On this issue, I am joined by Ambassador Veena Sikri, former Indian diplomat. Madam, thank you so much for joining me. And my straight question to you is, what is the messaging behind raising the heat on Pakistan, madam?
I think it's a very important speech that our Prime Minister had made today in Gandhinagar and yesterday in Bhuj. I think the message that he's giving is directly to the people of Pakistan. And he's telling them that your leaders have brought you on the way of terrorism, please give up terrorism. And he's saying to them that this fake narrative of now Field Marshal Asim Munir is to be busted. What is this two-nation theory that he's talking about? We know that the moment Bangladesh was created in 1971, the two-nation theory went sinking to the bottom of the sea. And we know that Asim Munir is trying to pretend today to his own people by getting himself promoted as Field Marshal that they've had a victory against India, which we know is completely false, and that it is Prime Minister Modi who has defined the new normal. The very decision to put the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance, the first reaction to the barbaric attack on innocent tourists in Pahalgam on 22nd April, the first reaction was to put the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance. Blood and water cannot flow together. Absolutely right. I mean, there's no way that you can continue launching these terrorist attacks on India and then think that everything will be business as normal. And then he said clearly that terror and talks cannot go together. So you cannot continue a policy of terrorism against India and hope then at another level, like Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif is understood to have said in Iran when he's visiting nowadays, that, we are offering peace talks and this and that. Where is your verifiable giving up of support to terrorism? And it is exactly the opposite. We know, for example, that after the 7th May attacks on terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan, whether Murid Ke, whether Bawalpur, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba and all that, we know that hundreds of terrorists died. And we know that after that, it is the army officers, senior army officers who participated in their funeral and who offered 1 crore for each of the people who have passed away. So, I mean, this is absolutely clear that there is no end to Pakistan's support for terrorism, and India will continue its policy as enunciated by Prime Minister, the new normal.
The second thing, madam, from the perspective of foreign policy, there was an effort that was made when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, even during Vajpayee, to treat the international border from a perspective of some sort of or the LOC, the line of control, as an international border with some sort of a workable border. We have changed that language. We are saying that the Pakistan occupied Kashmir belongs to us. What is the messaging behind that? What are the message we are trying to convey to Pakistan? Because Prime Minister today made a very significant statement. He said कि आज़ादी के वक्त जो जंजीरें हैं वो टूटनी चाहिए थी, भुजाएं काट ली गई.
He was giving 2 points very strongly. He said about Sardar Patel that when those Razakars came in and tried to grab Jammu and Kashmir by force, and at first Prime Minister Nehru hesitated on sending the Indian army, and then when he did, our army was extremely successful in pushing back the Razakars, and we were going to push them right out of the area which is today known as Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. But at that point, Mountbatten persuaded Prime Minister Nehru to call a stop to the hostilities and go to the UN, which is a complete massive error, a wrong step completely, because another few days and we would have got back the entire POJK. But it was not to be, because once the Prime Minister went to the UN, then that border at that time with the POJK under occupation of Pakistan remained. Now, we do know that in 1994, the government of the Parliament of India, the Indian Parliament, adopted an all-party unanimous resolution calling for the return of POJK to India. It's a very, very important parliamentary resolution unanimously adopted by all parties in 1994. But despite that, even at the Shimla summit, there was an attempt to see whether, the the LOC can become the new IB and so on. It was completely incorrect because, it was Bhutto who managed to deceive former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi into thinking that this would happen as soon as he went back. But of course, that was not his intention at all. He just wanted to get a good agreement from their point of view and a disastrous agreement from our point of view. And that was what he was able to do. So I think the whole idea of getting back POJK has again been brought to the forefront by Prime Minister Modi. And Prime Minister Modi has categorically said that we are going to get back POJK. There can be no talks with Pakistan on Kashmir or any other issue, because after 5th of August 2019, when the temporary Article 370 was abolished, there is no other issue to talk about on Jammu and Kashmir except getting back POJK. So if there's anything that Pakistan wants to talk about, it's only getting back POJK and of course the ending of terrorism. So these are the two issues only. And
Madam, yes. Before I let go of you, can this historical wrong be corrected? Because our foreign policy has seen different shades of initiative, which I referred to. Now we are taking a position that this issue will be resolved differently, and our Prime Minister has actually answered back. He has actually replied to Munir, Field Marshal Munir, because he is saying it's like a jugular vein. He said that Kashmir tells us the story that we are two nations, but Indian Prime Minister is saying that the entire POJK belongs to us. It's a different narrative. It's a different position on the entire subcontinent.
Absolutely, he's taken the correct position. He's taken a very strong position that the return of POJK is non-negotiable. We want POJK back. And he's also said on the question of the abeyance of the Indus Waters Treaty that we will not remove this Indus Waters Treaty being put in abeyance until there is verifiable evidence that Pakistan has given up terrorism. So this whole and all the 7-party delegations that are now members of parliament and other senior officers who are traveling across the world, this is the message they are carrying. That we want this new norm on terrorism. Terrorism must be called out for what it is. It must be banned. It must not be supported. And imagine giving the IMF tranche in the middle of this terrorist attack and soon after the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. This is the message that Prime Minister is giving, a very strong, unequivocal message. And I think our Prime Minister is determined to carry it out, and I wish him every success, because this is much needed. It is much needed. This message of the new India, the new normal, is much needed, and I'm sure there will be a great resonance globally on this.
Absolutely, madam, I completely agree with you, and I think what the Prime Minister has done is he has changed the nature of the conversation. He's saying, no, we are not going to talk about Kashmir. First, let's get back the entire Kashmir, and then let's talk about the terrorism that emanates from your country. I think the entire narrative on Kashmir has changed. We are not going to engage in any conversation with you about human rights and things which you have been doing for the last 20, 30 years trying to corner us. We are going to ask questions to you. Terrorism, your export of terrorism, which is in fact infecting and affecting entire globe, your proliferation of nuclear weapons. Thank you so much, Madam Sikri, for joining me. So this was on point 1. In the next on point, we'll look at how Bharatiya Janata Party is attacking CM Siddaramaiah as his government completes 2 years in power. The gloves are off between the Congress and the BJP in Karnataka. Even as the Congress is celebrating 2 years in power, BJP State President B.Y. Vijayendra attacked Chief Minister Siddaramaiah at a press conference in Bengaluru on Tuesday. Siddaramaiah, on the other hand, wants to create history by completing 7 years in office, and perhaps, maybe, he can break the record of Devraj Urs, who held the post for 7 years and 7 months. However, BJP is attacking CM on a number of fronts. Vijayendra accused Siddaramaiah of disrespecting the centre by escaping the Niti Aayog meeting chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, adopting a confrontational path with centre that was hurting Kannada's interest, alleged that Siddaramaiah has not done the job of a chief minister. Karnataka government was blocking central schemes like closing the Jana Aushadhi centres in hospitals. He said a number of things in the press conference. Let me straight away take a bite of Vijayendra.
the recent decision of the state government to cancel the Janaushadhi Kendra in the government hospitals. See, it's a dream project of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. The whole objective was to help the poor and needy people. See, BJP as a responsible opposition party, we are doing our duty. Since Congress government is losing its credibility, since Siddaramaiah government is losing its popularity on ground, this Siddaramaiah and their cabinet ministers are upset. And the latest is they are trying to threaten the opposition party by filing a criminal defamation case. See, we are in a democratic system. The ruling Congress party, Siddaramaiah government should understand, should respect the opposition party also. Siddaramaiah government is trying to blackmail BJP leaders. During last assembly session, when our MLAs protested against Siddaramaiah government's minority appeasement politics, 18 of our MLAs were suspended for no reason. So one thing is sure, since Siddaramaiah government is unable to raise the resources to fulfill its guarantees, price hike, continuous price hike on all the commodities.
Now, there are a number of issues on which Bharatiya Janata Party has spoken. I am joined by Satyaprakash, spokesperson KPCC, Vijay Prasad, spokesman Bharatiya Janata Party. I will be joined by Ramakrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist, Dr. Basavaraj Itnal, senior journalist. But let me straight away go to Satyaprakash, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Sir, to you, I think the debate on Siddaramaiah's tenure rages. A lot of people are saying that he's going to break the record of Devraj Urs, 7 years and 7 months. How do you see the record of Siddaramaiah? Do you think that he comes out with flying colours, or do you think that his second tenure has not mustered?
The people of Karnataka have given 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
At the hospital summit which we recently had.
10 out of 10?
Lakhs of people thronged there. They know that this Siddaramaiah government is not Man Ki Baat Sarkar. He is not Man Ki Baat Sarkar like Modi, but a Kaam Ki Baat Sarkar. Siddaramaiah has lived up to his promises. He has successfully implemented all the 5 guarantees, and the 6th guarantee also was implemented recently, where 1,11,111 khatas were given to those villages which had no khatas, which had no land records for the last 75 years.
Okay.
Please understand. Look at the guarantee. Some of the opposition parties said that Siddaramaiah cannot implement these guarantees and we will become another Sri Lanka. Siddaramaiah has effectively implemented all the 5 guarantees, and look at the figures. Nearly 485.
No, I'll run the graphics also. I'll run the graphics also, sir. You talk about the guarantees, I'll run the graphics also. Hits and misses, I'll run them. You speak.
484 crore tickets were torn for women of Karnataka. That means we provided wings to women of Karnataka. Women empowerment was in full swing. We gave nearly 1.63 crores women 2,000 rupees every month for the last 1.5 to 2 years. We have given 4.42 crore families 10 kgs rice, which no other state has given. 3.7 lakh youths have got 3,000 and 1,500 rupees as unity, and nearly 1 crore 30 lakh households have got free power. Look at the system, the mass transport system in the entire world. No woman in any country gets this sort of a this thing from the government. 500 crore tickets. You look at the empowerment that this has done. There was a story recently. The daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law, through the 2,000 rupees, have dug borewell in their villages. So this is a government of have-nots. It is not the government of Adani and Ambani.
Okay.
It is not the government of haves.
It's a government.
It is the government of have-nots.
Okay.
And last
Mr.
word.
Prakash.
I have the last word. Out of the
you can have a Mr. Prakash, you can have a word again. Let other panelists speak also. Mr. Prakash, I will give you time again. Don't worry, this show is not going to end right now. I'll also be joined by Vijay Prasad, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. But let me first go to Mr. Upadhyay. Mr. Upadhyay, can we audit the tenure of Siddaramaiah? How has he done? 10 out of 10? As Mr. Prakash said, 10 out of 10?
No, I wouldn't hazard numbers because I think it will be unfair. I'll only say that this term has been very, very disappointing. See, this is the second term of the Chief Minister. He has had a 5 years full term between 2013 and 18, and that was only 33 years after Devraj arrest. A Chief Minister was getting that kind of a term. He did a fairly good job during his first term. In fact, I remember he introduced Anna Bhagya on the day he took oath. I mean, that was a historic decision taken by any state government, because I think only after that, the central government came up with the food subsidy and all other states followed soon. In this term, I think he's hobbled by this 5 freebies. The 5 freebies have really shackled this government to an extent that he's not able to do anything at all. I mean, that itself has drained the exchequer completely. And to that extent, this government has not been able to perform very well at all. And in terms of the